definitely. That's the
Awesome sauce. Hello, everyone. This is Awesome Sauce Radio. I am your host, Blind Adam Wonders. Thank you all for joining us this Tuesday evening. We have an amazing show prep for you. I'd like to give 2 shout-outs before we bring everybody in. Jay-Z will be joining us in a little bit. He's going to be a little late because he's getting there for work. I'd like to thank Exotica Expo. It's Miami, June 28th to the 30th. Then it rolls back into my neck of the woods, Jersey, October 25th through the 27th. Everyone be there. It's going to be an amazing show. ExoticaExpo.com. Tell them what I sent you. Also, I want to give a shout out to Pornado the movie. Pornado the movie will be coming hard and fast eventually. So check out Pornado the movie and Abduction of Wine. Love you, Alien Rob. Now, with all that out of the way, I'd like to bring in my 2 very special guests at this time. First, we'll bring in the person who will be co-hosting with me for a little bit tonight. He's a musician. He's an actor. He's a content maker. Jake Swain, also known as the Thick Lebowski.
Pleased to meet you.
What's going on, Lebowski?
Yeah, and,
Not much.
And of course, we're going to bring in the legendary. He's running for Congress, and Evan Stone. What's up, sir?
How are you?
Good. How are things going on the campaign trail?
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Everyone's very positive. Not the positive that's like an STD positive, but positive is like how things are
The
going
good
forward.
positive.
Yeah, the good positive.
Yeah, definitely the good positive. Definitely the good positive. So when is the primary?
June 11th. June 1/1. June 11th.
All right, so that's like 2 weeks and change.
Yeah, 2 weeks and change, and so it's District 1. So I mean, you got to kind of live in District 1 to make the vote. So I'm going to go back down probably the second or the third and start doing some door-to-door stuff.
All right. So what is the door-to-door stuff going to entail?
Well, that's just me going door to door and talk to people in my district. District 1's not that big. Nevada's a big state, and I just got to have 11,000, 12,000 votes.
Nice.
So if it's anything like a presidential campaign, you can just like mail in your vote. I mean, you don't even have to live in the district or the state. You can just mail in your vote. You don't even have to fill it out. We'll fill it out for you. Just send box loads of ballots, and then I'll take care of it for you.
Okay. I'll bring a whole big box of the ballots to the next Comic-Con that I'm going to, and be like, just fill this out. Thanks. Bye. What have you learned anything new? About campaigning that's helped you since the last time you were on?
Oh yeah. So God's been a big thing joining into the campaign. People ask me a lot of God questions. One of the ones that was kind of a stumper, but not really when I thought about it, and I answered correctly, was the human embryo. He said human embryo destruction. What were my policy decisions on that? Which is kind of a loaded question, but obviously he's already on one side of that. Being that, and so I explained it to him in a religious text, so I think he understood it. So we're talking about being able to cure cancer eventually, right? Or have babies that will never get cancer, or have babies that will never get sick. People can live a long time, right? And so that you can't do that. That's against God's will. And I was like, and I asked him, I said, well, how is it that you speak for God and you alone know what God's will is? Now, God's will is in the Bible and stuff, and so you can interpret that, but you can't speak for God. And then I got to the science of it. I said, okay, well, God could be science, right? I mean, God could have snapped his fingers and God made the Big Bang, right? And so that's how science created, and that's how science understands God's magic. So if Eve was made from a rib from Adam, that's gene splicing. And so if God didn't want us to,
that's very interesting.
yeah, and if God didn't want us to do that, then he wouldn't give us a brain to make tools and a mind to think for ourselves. And he made us in our own image. He's a gene splicer, so we're supposed to do it too. And the bottom line is, let's all the fortune that's being made on cancer and the families that are being destroyed by cancer victims and stuff, that could all just go away.
So I guess one of the big problems, I know it's getting crazy in the New Jersey, New York City area, but what do you get to help fix homelessness out in Nevada?
Okay, so they say there's 600,000 homeless in America, which, out of a population, what we got, 350 million. So it's not a big number, but it is a factor, and it is a problem, and it needs to be taken care of because it affects everybody. First of all, it affects the people on the street, their health, their mental health, their welfare, right? It also, the people that are around that, they see that and they don't like it and they get upset and they, it just begins a whole hate thing. You start hating other human beings that are less fortunate than yourself. Maybe not purposely or unpurposely, but, and then so in order to take care of something like this, we have to have facilities to be able to take care of this. So we need more hospitals, mental health hospitals, and homeless buildings. And these buildings can be built. You can build and also for veterans. So I mean, there's 3 buildings. I don't want to take an existing hospital and add a mental health wing to it. I want to build a mental health hospital, have it on a federal database. That same for the veterans. I don't want I don't want to rebuild a veterans hospital. I don't want to rebuild a veterans hospital, to build new veterans hospitals and rooms for the homeless. So it's pretty easy and it's pretty basic math. The money we spent to fight the proxy war, $60 billion, that builds about, my porno math may be incorrect, builds 6 hospitals in every state. Or maybe it's 3 hospitals. I forget which one it is, 3 or 6. Either way, it's a lot more hospitals than we have now. And so some states will require more because they have more population, obviously. And so to do this and to do this right and to do this quickly, it needs to be done by the Army Corps of Engineers. That way there's not a bidding, it doesn't take longer, it doesn't cost the government more money, it's instantly taken care of, it's done, and it's done right. They're capable of doing canals across mountainous regions and the engineering to do this. It can be done relatively easy, relatively simple. With the fact of eminent domain, we'll put it in the most centralized area that makes easy access for everyone. It doesn't solve the problem. There's always going to be homeless because some people just want to live on the street. They're nomads, they're rangers, they're Vikings, whatever it is in their head, they want to live, and that's fine. But for those that don't want that choice, where the choice is like you can be on the street or you can be on the street on the other side of the street, and you don't want that choice, and you want the choice to be out of those confinements and those restrictions and inability to raise yourself out of that situation because you're in that situation.
It's very interesting. We're gonna
and so handicap accessible. So handicap accessible.
Yes. Now I'm gonna have a question for you and for Jake. Going over.
Jake, what's your favorite key?
What's my favorite key? Everything I seem to be writing is in A or A minor.
Oh, all right.
But A major, A minor, something like that.
Okay, as long as you didn't say drilling. As long as you didn't say G, we're cool. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt.
Yeah, screw G. Yeah. Let's see. When you guys are both on a set, what does male talent do to stay erect during a long shoot?
Just focus on the chick. That's how I do it.
All right.
But there's a lot of shit going on all around you all the time. you know, 100 people in the room sometimes. I've been in productions where there's been 100 people in the room. Now the productions they're spending less money. There might be just 4 people in the room. Director, shooting camera, assistant, might just be 3, and the makeup lady. And your other girl would be talent, would be 4. So, and then, you know, you got to be able to focus. You got to take, you know, you be a part of the distractions and everything like that, but never take it too seriously where like sticking it gets into your head. Everybody there wants you to do a good job so they can get the hell out of there and go home.
Yep. Jake, your thoughts?
Okay, well, I come from more of the amateur side of this. I could live 100 years and not do half the production stuff Evan has done. But I come more from the amateur side of it. So in my case, it's less of a production. I might have one camera operator. You know, it's definitely a smaller production. I've had at one point I had one camera operator and one PA, and that was pretty much it. So since I'm multitasking a lot more and I'm arranging cameras, I'm arranging lights, the distraction factor is a lot bigger for me. I'd love to say I've never stopped by a gas station and picked up a Rhino for an occasional shoot, but I'd be lying to you because if I gotta like, whoa, time out, I don't like the way that light looks. Oh, time out. I mean, it's like, so when you're having to be, you know, director and PA and all that stuff, that helps me a little bit. I'll admit, not always, but sometimes if it's a model I don't know, I don't have a whole lot of chemistry with, then yeah, sometimes I'll stop by the gas station on the way there. But other than that, like Evan said, you just kind of keep your head in the game, literally and metaphorically.
Well said it. Well said.
All right, cool.
And kudos to you because I didn't start directing until later in my career, and then I did a couple movies where I directed and I was in them, and it drove me fucking crazy. And I was like, I'm like, no, shoot over here. And I'm telling the camera guy how to move, which I would never do in the director's chair. I would never tell a camera guy, unless if framing of his shot is off, right? I would never tell him how to shoot something because you hired that guy because that's the way he shoots. And that's what you're looking for.
That's what he does. Yeah.
And I was like, no, who move over here? And the thing with the lights and all this other stuff, that's why I was tapping on my nose. I was like, oh my God, it was a fucking nightmare. I mean, nobody knew it, you know, except for, you know, the female talent, which I gave even less attention to. But yeah, kudos to you, sir.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's, you know, and this is where I'm 50 years old and I've been in the business for what, 1.5 years, 2 years. And when I was at Exotica in Jersey and I met you and you and I were chatting outside, you know, outside that hotel, you know, going into the business now at an age where most people have long since retired, you know, the technology, it's changed everything because now the amateurs are making such a strong movement into the industry where I don't need an agent. I don't have to be, you know, I don't have to be talent. I can be talent. I can be director. I can be producer. I can do all that stuff. I can sell direct. So there's so much more we can do, but that also means that I don't just get to show up on set and be talent. I've got to now wear all of those hats. It's daunting. It's a little more stressful, but at the same time, it really lets a lot more people get into this who normally, I don't live in LA. I live in Nashville. So I couldn't do a damn thing in this business, you know, 10 years ago. So I kind of like that. It's been fun. It's been stressful, but fun.
Yeah, man, the technology has allowed, you know, someone with 2 notable disabilities to get into the industry too and make it easier and, you know, the point of entry to be good. So it's just you know, the way the world is now. Excuse me, Evan, as a future congressman of Nevada, you know, what sale pitch would you give for someone, you know, thinking of relocating to Nevada?
Yeah, right? Get the fuck out of California.
Get the fuck out of California.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to specialize one state. No, I mean, I'm so happy I'm out of California. And then after I moved, they sent me a bill for for money for taxes on stuff that I'd already been out of the state on. And I was like, and it would not go away. And they actually garnished one of my personal accounts. You know, it's my real name in the because your tax thing. And they garnished one of my Nevada accounts. I was like, what? It was like, I'm missing like $2,000 here. And he goes, oh yeah, state of California took it. I was like, the police state of California. Okay. So did you hear what they're doing with one of the automotive companies? I forget which name it was. Um, Tesla. I think it's Tesla. I read a lot of stuff. It's kind of hard to keep it all together. And I think so. What they're doing is Tesla made like so many $1 billion, and so San Francisco sent them a bill for a percentage of that because they had their office in San Francisco, and San Francisco feels that the reason that the corporation made it so big, Tesla being the corporation, made it so big is because they were stationed in San Francisco. So they sent them a bill for like $34 million or something like that.
But see, now they're all coming to Nashville, though. When you tell them to get out of California, they're all coming to my backyard.
I love Nashville. I go up there with Jerry at the what the hell the name of the chitty bars up there? He's got a whole bunch of them. The Pony.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, isn't that Pony Turf?
What's that?
I said, isn't like Nashville like Pony Turf?
I think so. Yeah, I think I've been up there to Nashville a couple of times. At least I fly into Nashville, then go to the Pony. Something about it.
Despite my career, I actually don't get out much.
I was doing as a
I live there.
They pay me to go to a chitty bar.
Right.
So
in your case, I can see that. In my case, all I see is crowds.
I was like, hell yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, I'm not at that level where they're going to pay me to go. So I'm that guy that gets.
Give it time.
Gets to
Give
pay
it
to
time,
go.
Jake. Give it time.
I don't know. I don't know that I want that. I'm kind of just better being low on the radar and just making money.
Well, here's the whole thing. So I get there and everybody wants to have a drink with Evan Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be rude and say no. And so, but I would just order the most expensive liquor they have there at the bar, so the bar owner's happy, and hopefully I would drink less. But I'm just totally smashed at the end of two nights, Friday, Saturday night. I'm on the plane Sunday, and I'm like tossing the drinks over here when they're not paying attention. If I get a chance to talk to the bartender, I'd be like, "Hey man, make sure this vodka's water." And they give me a wink. Because they're making good money on the tips and stuff, and they don't care.
Right.
And that way they could give that free drink to somebody else if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But still, it's like so smashed. It was like, but thank God it was only like 2 weekends out of the month. Because I just don't drink on a social level. I just don't get up in the morning and this right here is grape Kool-Aid. I thought it would look cool.
Yeah.
Romy and Ale,
to be Evan Stone. I go to Nashville. They pay me to go to the titty bar. Everybody's buying me drinks that I don't pay for. Woe is me.
That's horrible.
To be Evan
and then
Stone.
all the girls want to fuck you.
I know. What the hell's with that? Right?
I know, but you can't do that because you're working because you're friends with the owner, right? Mm-hmm. You can't just go in there and bang one of his chicks. I mean, he's obviously banging all of them,
right?
On some of the owners. But you just can't go in there and just cause a commotion and stuff. But all the girls, it's a funny thing that all the girls talk there. Oh no, you won't fuck you. Well, then they all want to fuck you even more because you won't fuck anyone. Because you fuck one of them, they all talk, and they all talk to the other girls, and the other girls don't want to fuck you. You already fucked that one girl. They don't like that girl. Girl stuff.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It happens to me all the time.
It's like
sweet.
We're not all you, Evan. We're not all you.
Excuse me, it's all my fault. I'll take the blame. It's all me. Someone blind kid with a dream thought, and got Evan the Fog Kappa strip club. We had Jake play some hardcore metal for us when it was being happening.
Oh, where was that?
What was what?
Well, where's the music?
You
bring your guitar?
No, well, I'm transitioning right now. You seem to have caught me at a transitional moment.
You're going to woodwinds? You're going to brass?
yeah. I'm gonna do the Yanni thing because he gets all the ass. You're gonna use that. I can already tell. He's like, yeah. He's gonna
you should actually, instead of transition, you should incorporate your musical stuff into what you're doing. I think.
Well, I have like we were talking the other day, I've got several parallel paths that are moving simultaneously. I've got mainstream acting, and I've got the porn work, and I've got the music work, and we're just going to see which one really prospers. But I try not to link them all together because I want to be able to pick a path and maybe just focus on that one. And Evan, you probably know you're never going to escape your career. You're never going to escape. Even Congressman Evan Stone is never.
Oh no, I own it. Oh no,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
You gotta own it. Yeah.
but you know, in like if I go into mainstream acting or if I go into music, there's going to be times where that might limit me.
Oh no,
So
there's no time. It will. There's no
yeah,
time.
yeah,
It will.
yeah. So, and that's why at that point I'm kind of running three parallel paths, and we'll see where they go. And that's why, you know, I don't want to out the band that I sing for, because they don't, you know, they would hate it if we got new fans for that reason. So I kind of like, yeah, because I'm a singer. So on top of that, like, no. So I won't be doing any music today. Sorry. Which is why I don't do music at Exotica. I'm not out there with my guitar. I don't know. Maybe I'll sing Wonderwall. That would mean a completely different thing at Exotica, wouldn't it? You're my Wonderwall.
Excuse me, Evan. Is Evan Stone being Evan Stone the porn star? Is it you get any flack of it on the campaign trail so far, or?
Oh no, no one's. I mean, I'm on that's one of the commercials I just put out today. The other commercials I lead with, "Hey, I'm Evan Stone, porn star," or "I'm porn star Evan Stone." Right? I mean, we make a career out of consent, cooperation, and compliance, right? And
Yep.
it's about communication and stuff. So I mean, this is when we made a whole career out of this, and like you're not rewarded for in my career for failure. You don't get to keep your job.
Right.
You don't get to get transferred somewhere else. I mean, I guess you could be moved to like a Best Boy or a Grip or something, but generally you just walk out of the industry. So I'm very performance driven, and so it's never really come up to a situation like that where I would have to explain to you, just like right now, like I'm doing, that about the porn stuff. Everybody understands that it's a job. It's guaranteed by the Constitution. It's freedom of speech. It's perfectly legal. But the whole thing that got me really pissed off, and the reason I'm running for Congress, is when COVID shut everything down. I was already retired at recording studios in Burbank. I had 7 buildings. I had 14 studios, and I had built my last studio, and I was in 3 buildings. I was like, I'm all done. And then COVID shut everything all down. And in California, you can't throw people out. They stayed there. I couldn't turn off the power. They'd stopped paying rent. I couldn't turn off the electricity, or the power, electricity, the internet, the air conditioning. And so I just had to keep paying and paying, waiting for COVID to quit. And I went bankrupt. And everybody else was able to get a PPP loan and stuff like that. But my corporation was Evan Stone Holdings. And somebody looked it up and got a hard on against Evan Stone, and they refused to give me a PPP loan. And I got attorneys and stuff like that, but it got so expensive that I couldn't even finish that. So it's funny how the laws are written by whatever the moral majority is, whatever the moral majority opinion is. That's what the laws are written. Before, when you're a Viking, it was okay to murder. Now, not so much, right?
Yeah.
And so when it comes down to this, I mean, people really can't point a finger and say, hey, you shouldn't have done that, or you can't do that. Because for me, it's like different. For the girls, it's a lot different. For the guys, it's different than the girls. And so, but no one's ever actually come across and said, hey, I don't really appreciate you trying to get in Congress because you're a old man porn star or retired porn star, right? The whole thing about this is I want to help people. I have been given the affordability and the opportunity to do the best job in this planet, right? And America has given me that opportunity, and I love this country, and I want to give back. And I don't want to see people getting fucked without the consent, and that's what the government's doing.
Just as we're starting to wind this down a little bit, what are your thoughts? I know you gave this, but I also want Jake to chime in as well. Once you get into Congress, what are you going to make sure that the age verification laws?
Okay,
and I have a question for Evan as well.
Yeah, that's got to. I'll answer this real fast. That's got to go away. It's not the government's responsibility to raise your kids, right? You are the parent. You are the responsible person. If they get a hold of your computer and they find the porn and stuff like that, there are programs and stuff that you can put in your computer. You can lock your computer where your kid can't get in it. If you can't figure that out, then maybe you shouldn't be using the computer, right? Now it's the parents' rights. That's my whole thing. It's about parents' rights, parents' responsibility. The parents' right to make sure the child is protected, right? It's not the government's responsibility to censor the internet for you. That is like a never-ending opening door. What's the other question?
And the other thing is, I guess, is, you know, and by the time a kid is 18, and this, you know, they can drive, can drive a car, you can buy a pack of
From 16.
cigarettes, you know, but
Be drafted.
you drafted. It's just
Go
like
to war.
when you anyone who's legal and consenting wants to be involved with porn in any way, shape, or form, go for it. But do your
Yeah,
parents?
well, you could stay on your
Please.
insurance until you're 21. Come on, there's just the age is like so abstract now.
Yeah, I hear you. And you know, in today's day and age, if someone wants to get something, they'll find a way to do it. So I think there's if you're gonna be a parent, be a responsible fucking parent. Don't have Disney and Coca-Cola and whatever scapegoat you're gonna put in front of it, because you can't be responsible enough, and you know, not
Now
lazy
Nickelodeon.
enough.
Now it's Nickelodeon too.
Yeah.
I don't think Nickelodeon's getting good press these days, man.
No,
I've got something I'm dying to ask Evan, if you don't mind.
Go for
All
it.
right. Evan. So,
I'm sorry, no more questions.
Oh, I'm done. All right. All right. Shit. No. All right. The Mann Act and how it applies to our industry. I know. Okay, so you know the Mann Act. When you're transporting somebody, the thing I don't like is the verbiage. If you're transporting somebody for the purpose of illicit fornication or for immoral purpose, even if it's not prostitution, even if it's not trafficking. In this industry, I can't buy a plane ticket for a model because I'm afraid of being seen as being in violation of the Mann Act.
Yeah,
Right,
you
like,
should be.
So I'm at the point where I work
first
with
of all-
amateurs. Go on.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I work
question.
with amateurs who you know might be scattered, because in Nashville all the talent's not here. I'm traveling all over the place for content, and I can't just buy a plane ticket as part of the negotiation, because I could be violating the Mann Act and I could be committing a felony by paying for your plane ticket, even though we have a 2257 where everything is legal. What about the verbiage of the Mann Act? I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if they changed that to define it clearly?
Amazon,
No, it's
stop.
not.
More options. Remove solo layout. Mute Evanstone. Let's make more Evanstone. Add Nate left there in the reality.
I'm just adding my next guest. Sorry about that.
No, you're
I
good.
don't have a producer at the moment. I'm going to bring in Trial by Gods. Nate, he's a G.I. Joe and Transformers enthusiast. So we're going to bring him in now.
Enter. Main region. Remove.
Yo, Nate, what's up, brother?
Yo, dude, what's happening?
Hey, not much.
Nate,
Hey, Nate, this is Evan Stone. He's
Good to meet you, Nate.
Nice to meet you guys.
He's a legendary performer, and he's running for Congress. This is my buddy Jake Swain, also known as the Tick Lebowski. He's a content maker and a musician, and we'll just Evan, I want to thank you for being on. If you want to stick around, you're welcome to. But
yeah. Let me answer this. The Mann Act real fast.
Yep.
The Mann Act. Okay, first of all, it is written so poorly, right, that if you could afford the most expensive attorney, you could get out of anything, right? Because it's so abstract, right? But it needs to go away entirely. So what we have to do is stop child sex trafficking. The only way you can do that is to make prostitution legal. I will combine these two things real simple. We've got it here in Nevada working at a local level on a county, right? When I get into office, I'm going to make it work at a state level. And then I'm going to have another state work on it. And so you can be a prostitute and you can be protected by the laws. You can be protected because I got friends that are going here to the casinos to work, get beaten up by John. The cops don't do anything. The casinos don't do anything. John gets away without paying for his prostitute. And prostitution has been around since the beginning of time, right?
It's
So
in the Bible.
to not even try to deal with the Mann Act, we just legalize prostitution. What this does is it eliminates sex trafficking, because the reason we don't have sex trafficking in our business, and we don't have minors in our business, because our name, our picture, our signature, our DNA fingerprints are in every piece of paperwork. And it's all very, very regulated. It is very controlled. And that's why we don't have the illegalities in our business that other people have. So that would just eliminate the Mann Act altogether, because they're just grabbing at things, trying to make it at work, and you can't do that, right?
Right.
The interstate. I mean, first of all, unconstitutional. The Interstate Commerce Clause, right? First of all, this should be an unconstitutional act anyway. But you don't want to be the guy that goes all the way to the Supreme Court being arrested under the Mann Act.
Right. Yeah. Well, we've seen the Mann Act used for some, and we've seen others being exempt from it. I'll just leave it
Yeah.
at that.
That's the thing about the attorney things on that, because the law is written
Right.
so vaguely, right? That it's that if you have a really good attorney, he will get you out.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean. Like you said, it's not written clearly, and it can be used in any direction. You're right.
Awesome. Awesome. Evan, once again,
Thank you.
you know, I wish you all the luck in the world. Everyone vote for Evan Stone on June 11th.
Hell yeah. It's pleasure to see you again, Evan.
All right, buddy.
Again,
Take
you. Have
care.
a great night.
All right, vote for Evan Stone. Peace out.
Vote for Evan Stone, June 11th in District 1, yo.
All right. Isn't he awesome?
Yep. Hey, Nate, sorry about that.
Oh no, you're fine. You're
How are you
fine.
doing tonight, man?
Oh, not too bad. I just it's. I don't know what it is, but I always have to make sure I'm on the right time. So when we're going back and forth on the time, I always have to remember Eastern and Central time. Little things.
Just for future reference, what are you, Central?
I am Central. Yeah, I tell you what.
Right
After
on.
going to Central, it's hard to go back to Eastern because all the games start so late. But in Central time, it's amazing how much an hour helps actually get through all the, especially the finals and the playoffs.
All right, cool. I'm going to start off with an easy question because I want to know, did Red Hood ever get his blanket he's been bitching about for the last 4 months?
He does not have the blanket. I'm a little nervous on letting him back in the house because I know it'll be gone if I give it to him. So he pressed a lot of books for me, and I think that was probably like a trade-off. Hey, if I press all these books for you, eventually I got to get one of these blankets because he just swears by this thing. I never knew
I've never heard someone in the comic book YouTube community talk about a blanket more than more than him, which is bad for his image. Someone seems to tell him it's bad for his image, by the way.
I'm used to little kids with their blankies, they can't get rid of them. But I mean, I've never seen someone who's a full-grown adult absolutely just fall in love with a blanket and basically do anything.
Well, if you know anybody military, we have the Whoopee. And, it's basically our poncho liner. It's kind of like a really lightweight blanket, and we call it the Whoopee. So if you know any military guys, talk to them about the Whoopee, and they know exactly what you're talking about. We don't always outgrow that. We don't always outgrow our love for the Whoopee.
I did try to get him one. I did actually reach out to my parents to see if we could get one from the plant, but the company doesn't make them anymore. So
yeah,
I'm still trying to figure out a way to satisfy his needs on that end.
I'm sure he'll tell me to go. I'll gotta go fuck myself, bro, or something for even bringing him up again. But that's cool.
Well, at least this time it would be for a good cause.
That's right.
I usually do that for free and without cause normally, so that's all right.
Hey, Jake, are you into G.I. Joe at all? Transformers?
I was Transformers was my entire childhood. I always looked forward to coming home and having to get through. Like G.I. Joe was that show I had to wait to end so I could watch Transformers. Because my grandpa was traditional military, so he was trying to push G.I. Joe on me, but I was a Transformers guy. I mean, I loved the Transformers show. So I remember the show, but honestly, that the part of the show that I watched was really because I was waiting for Transformers to come on at 4:00, I believe.
I was gonna say it was at 4:00 because my G.I. Joe's at 3:30 and Transformers at 4. Same channel. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And knowing is half the battle. Okay, whatever. What the fuck? Transformers is on now.
All right. Now this is an important question, Nate. Who got more ass? Destro or Cobra Commander?
Oh, Destro. Easy.
I'm all about Destro. Yeah.
All right. We're all in agreement there, Destro.
Cobra Commander, I mean, I don't think he ever got any.
Well, maybe once or twice. All the rookies.
Well, I mean, he's got a son in the comics, so maybe, but I don't know. I would definitely.
Destro had a functioning mouth, which would be beneficial. Cobra Commander just had that face shield. I couldn't imagine getting your ass eaten by a guy that had a face shield. I wouldn't think it'd be that good. Hurt. Yeah, like he's just like I don't know if it'd be the same.
I think I could see him being invited to like a like a party or something like that, so people could like use
Right.
his shield to just watch themselves.
Yeah, like and on
They're like
top
the
of that,
mirror
like,
on top of the bedroom or something.
and when women wear glasses, they call them shields, but he has legit got a shield.
He's got one big time.
He's got a shield for the whole party.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
So, Nate, did you see the? And unfortunately, I can't bring the image up yet because my producer isn't here. But did you see the Kickstarter yet for the compendiums?
Put in for this morning. And I tell you what, it's amazing. If I had a notification, I got the email this morning, but I didn't really get to it until probably like maybe 10. And I think the email came around 8:30. And then, the ones that were actually with like the Larry Hama, I think signings, or like the templates that were included in that, those bundles were gone like immediately.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I saw that they're already funded already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I ended up picking up the Cobra version of the Kickstarter. So it was I wanted the Cobra cards more than anything. And I like the box. That and the Snake Eyes cover. It's very similar to the Larry Hama, like the G.I. Joe. I think it's issue 26, the one that came out in like I guess it's maybe I can never keep it straight. If it's like 82, 83, 84, but it has like the one thing that year where Marvel had their anniversary and had all the characters as the border.
One the 86 that came out with the anniversary border.
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
I'm gonna have to go back on because I was just getting in the pre-production for when I saw that on Twitter, and I looked at it, I glanced, and I was like, "Oh crap! The template's already gone."
Well, that's what I love. You're talking about Transformers, and one of the things I loved when they did the Bumblebee movie, I thought that was so cool because guys like me, we love that because it was the original vehicles they were based off of.
Yeah.
So to see Bumblebee being a bug and then Optimus being the old Freightliner, that was so awesome.
The beginning of Bumblebee, I thought was the best one of or any of the Transformers because when they were on Cybertron, you could actually see like the problem I have with the Michael Bay movies is I can't make out their faces because like there's just almost too much detail. But if you look at the beginning, like Bumblebee, where you see like Wheeljack and Cliffjumper, you can just easily distinguish who those guys are because they look like the original cartoon characters in the toys.
Right.
And then your point, Bumblebee was finally a bug. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this, Jake.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was the fact that there was such a Chevy endorsement in that to where they changed absolutely every vehicle to make it a Chevy, and that was disappointing. But anyway,
I don't know if you saw they had the original
series. Porn movies in those movies.
Did you see they had the original More Than Meets the Eye series in the movie theater 2 weeks ago as a 40th anniversary? So they had they ended up doing the first episode and they had Frank Welker and Peter Cullen and some of the other voice actors, and they showed on a third of the screen the voice actors and 2/3 of the screen the original first episode, and it was like surrounded by Teletran 1. And then they went on to play the rest of the series. Just they moved the voice actors away and went back to the original.
That would be so badass.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was great. Good experience.
Excuse me, Nate. Are you going to be going to Fan Expo up in Dallas? Because they got Welker and Cullen there as guests.
Cullen? I when is that? Because I really don't have anything autographed from them, and I would love to actually get something from them. So I was trying to kind of keep an eye out, like if they were going to be anywhere around me.
I'll message you the dates on IG.
Okay.
But I believe it's like the middle of June.
Oh, that.
I know Contrapolis, Comic Palooza, actually just up by you ended this weekend.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he actually was the moderator for the Chip Zdarsky panel on Friday night.
Is it worth out of both those conventions? If I had to pop my comic book, convention cherry out for Texas, what would be the better one to go to?
It would not be Compalooza. I honestly, I've only been to that once. I don't think it's a great. I don't think it's a great show. It's the time I went. It took way too long to get into the door. Like the way they had it set up, even if you already had your pass and things of that nature, it just took way too long to get in. Even when I got in, there weren't as many comics as I'd hoped. And there was just a lot of kind of more pop culture. I'd say like pop culture, like half of it. And I'd rather hit a show with more long boxes and slabs and stuff like that, or action figure stuff like that. So I didn't think I don't even think I bought anything at the show the time I went. And so I would try like the Fan Expo. If it's got guys like Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, like for me personally, I'd rather go to that. But I would tell you, if you really want to hit a great comic book show, the Heroes Convention in Charlotte, which is usually at the third week of June, is probably the best comic
one of
book
these
show I've
years,
been to.
I've known about the show for over 25, almost 30 years now.
Yeah.
And one of these years I'll make it. It always seems I have like a family event or, just way too many conventions. And that's the one that, winds up getting the cutting room floor.
They always have a really good selection of artists, and it's really just about comics. And so you can pretty much find anything that you want there. And it's just, if you want to go deep diving in boxes for, days or a weekend, that is the place to do it.
And they have enough pop culture, guests for me to also mix both worlds. I'm really looking forward to this one convention in Jersey in a couple of weeks because it's 50% comic books, 50% pop culture, but they got the voices of Zartan, Serena.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Storm Shadow, and Billy West.
Who's Billy West?
He voiced Ren and Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, that's great. As long as you get the voice for the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Man, and then the horse who's selling rubber nipples.
No, that was he passed. That was Gary Owens.
Oh man, I love those episodes.
It's great. Excuse me, Jake. Do you think that we can do a porn parody of Transformers would be viable?
It would be difficult, and but with a lot of EVA foam, I think it can be done. It's like we would take cosplay to another level.
Damn right we will.
And I think the biggest problem with making this kind of content with Transformers is there's always where there is body contact. I'm not spraying silver paint on my junk. I'm sorry, I'm just not doing it. So
I'm sure we can. If we're gonna get the budget for it, it's not like we need a Hollywood budget. But I'm sure we can do a little bit more CGI in that department.
Well, I mean, if you're going to apply a CGA to my genitals, then let's just go big. Let's just like.
If it's a Transformers, it's got to be
big.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Transformers, their stuff would just do this. Like, I mean,
considering how big they are anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would be epic.
Well, I Starscream and Soundwave laid. That's all that counts.
Yeah, Soundwave maybe. That's like, and now it's gonna be in my head. Like, can we do parody porn with the Transformers? I don't know. It's been done in just about any other genre. They've done Avatar. They've done Star Wars.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I've seen. Oh wait. I've seen the TikTok videos of the little kids that have like the little transporter costume, and they just like stand up and they're in a car and like.
The ones that just transform?
If you could take that and apply that to a woman's costume, and then you could just hit it when she's in car mode, which would be kind of cool, especially if it's a car you like. Then you could really take that other directions. Like, I like my car this much. I'm going to film content with it. Oh wait, it's a person.
And now Nick, you're just like, wait, I agreed to come on this show when I can go back to safe places like modern comic book mayhem.
No, my Camaro's a robot, but we're not detached yet.
No telling.
Hey, is there, Nate? Outside of all the action figure stuff, is there anything on the secondary market you see making a comeback?
Yeah, I tell you, honestly, it's funny because with like the action figures,
stuff.
It's funny with the action figures because honestly, the people who have the main licenses like Hasbro, they've got Transformers, G.I. Joe, Star Wars. They've done such a poor job. Like, for example, with the Star Wars line, they put out figures that no one wants. It really has been
Triple the price.
It has not gone well. That's exactly right. I mean, these things went from literally being $10, then the $14, and the $17. They continue to
Yeah.
put out the figures no one wants, and then they push more Black Series when people want vintage collection. So it seems like all the stuff that you really want are the HasLabs, and those you can flip. But I would tell you the company I think that's really doing well is Mondo. If you really want to get something where there's a market that you can really make some money, a perfect example is they're doing 12-inch scale or the 12-inch figures for. I've got some behind me for like Masters of the Universe. They're also doing like Batman animated series, and they're also doing X-Men, like the X-Men cartoon. And one they just put on the out for sale was Rogue, and they limited it to 1,000. Basically, you can still get Rogue, but the one that limited to 1,000 came with a lot more parts. And I want to say it was $275, and I've already flipped mine for almost $700. Now, most of the time you're limited to 2, but I would tell you everything that Mondo puts out on the 12-inch side, all the Masters of the Universe, it takes about 3 months. So it's not like an extended HasLab time or a Kickstarter campaign where it takes 1.5 years to get the toy. You wait 3 months, but you can start putting on eBays before that. And I usually get double. All the Masters of the Universe are usually around like $250, $275. You can usually get about $450, $475 for them.
Whew.
So all the Mondo stuff, it's an easy flip. Easy flip. And I think, and they're getting ready to come out with the real Ghostbusters. So if you remember that cartoon, like Hasbro has had the Ghostbusters license, they haven't really used it. Mondo is going to put them out. I think they're going to sell really well. Mondo, and then they're also doing Thundercats now. They're going to start doing like 12-inch Thundercat figures as well. So it seems like they're kind of taking the mantle away from Hasbro. And it's odd that Hasbro wouldn't put the money in to make these figures. And same thing with like Super 7. They've come up with an agreement. So the old G.I. Joe figures we grew up with the O-rings, Super 7's going to start recreating those. And Hasbro's, again, missed the boat on it.
That's wild.
Yeah. But to your point, Jake, the one thing I don't think Hasbro has is anybody who tests or pricing elasticity, because at some point they should have known like these prices you're charging for these figures, no one wants them.
Some of it's insane.
They absolutely destroyed the collectors. Star Wars was my entire life. So, I mean, this the toys, that was part of my entire life. And then for so long I was collecting it. And then when they took over, and then they did the release for Force Awakens, and then they released all these really crappy figures that they were charging $14 for, and they're total shit. That was the beginning of the end. At that point, as soon as that happened and Disney took over the toys, people just like, I'm done with Star Wars. And then, like you said, they put all their focus on Black Series. So now they're just selling $30 action figures for the grown-ups. And the kids, they're moving them on to the little Galaxy series, little toys like that. Yeah. And so, the 4.25 action figure scale, they just abandoned that altogether. And it's a shame.
You're talking about the Black Series. You just see like Grogu or something like this, or like Sabine in one of these boxes, and they'll charge like the same price, or it's like they try to figure out a way that they can charge you more. Like, hey, we're going to give you 2 blast effects, so now it's a deluxe figure, so it's 35 instead of 25. And you just wait for clearance if you want any of these, because there's a good chance you'll get them at some point, because no one wants to pay the prices that they've got.
Yeah, it just felt like total exploitation, where they were just completely just robbing people. And the 4.75 line, they just absolutely destroyed it. Yeah. It used to be you would go into Walmart and 1/2 to 3/4 of the aisle was Star Wars toys.
Yep.
And now they've got one little panel, if that.
And it's really disappointing. And they've got a HasLab they had planned originally for the beginning of May, and everyone was speculating it was an old 3 3/4 inch Cantina set.
Right.
And it was going to be, just like really articulated and how it's going to look.
Sure.
Well, they end up accidentally putting it up on the website, and they decided to push back the campaign. My guess is now they'll wait till San Diego Comic-Con. But what they'd shown people got the screenshot of on the website, I don't think it's the finished product, but what it was not worth the money. They had basically $400 or a $500 package. And if you want the Cantina, it's got to look, it's got to be great. It's got to have everything.
Right.
And $400, $500 for a playset. they've got two price points. What they had listed was either $400 or $500, but it didn't have any details as what came with one versus the other. My guess is it's probably different figures. So
because Jabba's sail barge was awesome. Like that was really awesome. And and then they released the Slave One, and that was ridiculous. So yeah, it's hit or miss, I guess.
They've kind of, the whole idea with the HasLab was to make the toy that you always dreamed about that you couldn't get. And the sail barge, that was it. Like as a kid, oh my God, the sail barge or Transformers, Unicron. Like when that came out, I was like, I'd always wanted a Unicron.
Right, because that was the G.I. Joe carrier of Star Wars to have Jabba's sail barge. Like, that was
that's exactly it.
I think they peaked with the Galactus for me on those.
Yeah, the Galactus was a great Marvel Legends figure because they did the Sentinel first and then Galactus. And then that's when they started kind of falling off because that's when they missed on the Ghost Rider HasLab because it was Ghost Rider and just the Robbie Reyes.
Is that the one that didn't get funded?
Yeah. And then they did the Black Series Rancor for Star Wars. That didn't get funded because they already made a Black Series Rancor like a while back.
Yeah.
And then they did the Reva lightsaber. I'm like, that's not a dream object. Like anyone can just go buy a lightsaber. I was like,
you can make one of those.
Yeah.
With all the right parts for crying out loud.
Really hit and miss. It feels like that's one of the things where Hasbro, they own everything G.I. Joe related. So the G.I. Joe HasLabs have done really well. But when they had that license with Disney, how much input is Disney saying, hey, this is what we want to do versus what Hasbro wants to do?
I think they're making all the calls. I mean, I think they really are. Because what they did to the action figures right off the bat, that to me tells me that their influence, they just decided to not worry about the action figures and change the entire toy marketing.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Excuse me, guys. Do you guys think that Disney, overall in the last 10 years, has done more to hurt Star Wars than help it at this point?
Absolutely.
I think you'd find it hard to find too many people would say it's in a better shape than it was 10 years ago. Just sad. Like you really have to mess it up. Because like the Mandalorian's been great and Clone Wars, if you let certain people work with the property and get everybody else away, I think that's what you need. But you got Kathleen Kennedy and other folks, just too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen. And, they try to, balance everything and everyone's got to have like this, or, like Disney's rules where if they do any type of series, or maybe it's got to include this, this kind of person, this person. It's just, instead of just taking the people who would be like the best actors reading the lines, everything's just, we've got to have, a kid from North Carolina. We got to have somebody who's got a birthday on Wednesday, who's born in Cincinnati with brown hair. We've got, it's just, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of sad that the best thing to happen to Star Wars for me in the last 10 years has been animation.
Yeah. Clone Wars has been great.
Has been phenomenal.
Well, my
everything's been hit or miss.
My personal opinion on how they have changed Star Wars and taken the magic away is when you watch the original 3, I don't know what was happening in America during that time because it was escapism. It was about something else. It was not about America. It was not about American issues. And then when they made the Han Solo movie and made it about droid rights and droid slavery, you now took all of our heroes and turned them into slave owners. Like, are you serious? you literally took all of our heroes and turned them into slave owners.
I feel like you ended up having to take all these crappy movies and crappy series to get like a really good one like Rogue One. Like
Rogue One was
amazing. The way that ends, it just leads right into A New Hope. I mean, you talk about nailed it. And I feel like after that, because I enjoyed the first Force Awakens when it came out.
Right.
Because you hadn't had a Star Wars in so long. And you finally got like Han Solo back and Princess Leia and everything. And you get Luke at the very end.
You had enough of the old stuff in there for it to, keep it nostalgic and new at the same time. Yeah.
And then you get Rogue One.
They just jizzed all
and
the
then
wrong places at that point.
It just started rolling downhill from there because I remember was it Last Jedi was the next one? And I remember that was the only time I'd watched a Star Wars movie. And after it was over, I remember sitting in my chair like,
you're just like, what the hell?
And I had no interest in coming back to see it again. I would have never assumed that would ever happen for a Star Wars movie.
Well, it's the thing I loved about
and then
Rogue
Solo
One.
And then Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
It just
Solo sucked.
Been tough.
Solo was just
That movie was
Yeah.
just, it was unnecessary. It's one of those movies we didn't really need because on top of that, Han and Leia have been an item. And then no one was going to support a romance interest with Han and somebody else. Nobody was going to accept that. It just wasn't going to happen because Han is supposed to be with Leia. So nobody wants to see that. And then on top of that, you get into the whole droid rights and all of that. You threw so much in there that just. But Rogue One, as a veteran myself, what I loved about Rogue One is it was about the foot soldiers. It was about the people whose names you never heard. It was not about wizards and generals. It was about sacrifice of nameless people all throughout the entire Star Wars world. We got to see the people who sacrificed themselves and never made a name. And I thought that was absolutely beautiful. That's why I loved Rogue One, because it was really about the sacrifice. And it's badass.
It shows that you can have a great movie and not be Jedi centric as well, which I think
absolutely,
because those guys in there, like, I didn't know who, like, I think even after I saw it, I couldn't tell you like some of the guys' names in the movie, like the character names. But I was like, man, I love the blind guy, and I love and his best buddy Baze.
As I saw that, I was like, yeah, okay, this was cool.
You could walk into that movie cold and not know a thing about Star Wars.
Yeah,
and love that movie.
Yep.
It stood on its own. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. It didn't need to lean on anything else.
And I have a blind Jedi, so I can't go wrong.
Yeah. You can't beat that. Can you do that stuff?
Hells no.
Well, if you got to practice, I mean, you don't have to be a Jedi. You can just, the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me.
Just start with the broomstick. Start with a broomstick today, and then you just never know.
Build your way up.
There are times when I get frustrated walking with my cane when it's popped into my head about you being a Sith Lord Master.
Yeah, cheer it. Yeah, I'll cheer it on it.
So, Jake, do you think you can use the Force to get laid?
Oh, if only I could. I just have to use these hazel eyes and my smile, which is not as effective. Sometimes it works, but it's hit and miss. If only. And if I was able to, I wouldn't tell you guys about it.
No.
All right, cool.
I take that secret to the grave.
Nice.
That's great.
Nate, do you have high hopes for Wolverine and Deadpool?
Yes, very high.
Because
the last Marvel movie I saw that I enjoyed in the theater was No Way Home, the Spider-Man. So it's been 3 years since that, because like Thor and Eternals, all this stuff, Miss Marvel, the Marvels, they've missed it. I think anything with Ryan Reynolds, it's hard to mess up because he is a perfect Deadpool. And then you bring Hugh Jackman in it. I'm like, it feels like I don't know how they would have to mess it up. I mean, anything they did just seems like it's going to be funny. It's going to be Wolverine in the yellow suit. I mean, like, how long have we been waiting for that?
Since
and I was
25 years.
Yeah.
Well, and when I read how Ryan Reynolds dug his heels in on this, they tried to inject She-Hulk into it, and he's like, no. So the fact that he dug his heels in on it, that tells me it's going to be. I like that. I think it's going to be kind of his vision and not letting Marvel, dictate it. So that's good. Who knows? I got high hopes.
The fact they let him. The fact they let the first one be an R movie, I was really, really surprised about that.
Right.
But at least that showed, like, we're going to let you do the movie that be made the way it should be made,
and that's what made it amazing.
Movie. Yeah, because that's Deadpool. You can't have a PG or PG-13 Deadpool.
I'm Captain Delicious Pants. Just ask your mom. Like,
Actually, my favorite part of the first trailer was, I'm not a stranger to pegging, but Disney. And that's when I knew that Disney was not going to be a factor on
and besides having Deadpool and Wolverine, when I started seeing the previews, do you remember Peter from Part 2? When they're building the team and Peter's just a regular guy. And I was like, Peter's in this again. I'm like, oh, well, fantastic. Because, when he's sitting there talking about Cable and they're on the plane and he's putting on the suntan lotion, he's like, I don't know about this Cable guy, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't killed as many people as advanced melanoma.
It should be good. It should be good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
I guess good time to be an X-Men fan right now. Between that and 97.
Yeah, you're riding high right now. That series was fantastic. I don't care what they talk about the ratings or any of that kind of stuff, or how Miss
Yeah.
Marvel or any of the shows have better ratings. It's kind of a different audience, because a lot of people are, if you're watching the regular series, I don't think people, it's a different audience that's going to come in to watch an animated series, and you really have to be kind of a true X-Men fan and probably have to have watched the original series back when you were a kid. So I don't think you can necessarily compare them. I don't think it's equal.
I think this point with comparing the original to what came out this year, it's like it's comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah.
different time periods. Like there was no PC culture back in 92 for 97. And if it was minimal. You have to compare, I think. To anyone who did not like this show, I don't know. I think you need to just sell all your comics and get the fuck out.
Yeah, I was about to say, I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about the series. And if anything, they're the ones, like, you watch those, you want to go back digging through the boxes and pull out like X-Men 25 or Wolverine 75 and, the Life, Death, Uncanny X-Men stories. I mean, it is nostalgia through and through.
Oh, yeah. I never thought I would get to see the most vicious, brutal scene from a comic book from the 90s in animation. With Magneto pulling the
adamantium out. I couldn't believe that when I saw it. I'm like, oh my God, it's just like watching the comic come to life.
Yeah, I knew that we were going to get to it when when Wolverine's voice was the previously on X-Men piece. I didn't think we were going to actually get it the way we did.
The one thing too is, as heavy as Marvel always goes with kind of when they have a property like Wolverine or Deadpool and they just drown you in it. At least,
yep.
Wolverine wasn't just like the front and center of every episode by far. Like he was in it, but he wasn't, it wasn't like oversaturation with him by any means.
And I'm really looking forward to season 2. I think I'm glad they did not oversaturate things like the Phoenix all that much. Was one of my theories as well.
They just cannot get away from like doing the Phoenix. It's almost like a requirement. Like, we've got to show the Phoenix in some way. I don't know.
So,
did you watch Bad Batch?
Hell yeah, I did.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
So,
I was really surprised they all didn't get killed at the end, which I was glad. I was like, I hope they don't try and kill everybody. But
I figured they were. I thought it was just going to be carnage. Yeah,
that's exactly what I thought. Especially Crosshair, I was like, oh, he's definitely out.
And then we never got to see Cody. We never got to see what happened with Cody.
No,
I thought Cody was going to be. At first I thought Cody was the assassin. He was that.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Cody. I thought it was going to be Cody. Because that would have been a good way to get Cody back. Is they wiped him, they programmed him, and that was going to be Cody. But nope. So I don't know.
I still hadn't gotten over Tech dying in season 2. I was like, God, that was
that hit hard. That hit hard. That really did.
Wow.
I was surprised that they didn't have the Empire rebuild Tech and make him a villain at some point in season 3. I was expecting to see that.
Oh
well, we were wondering if that was either Tech or Cody. We figured that assassin guy was going to be one of the two, because all we really saw was Tech's glasses.
If it would have been Tech, I probably would have lost it. Like, I would have never seen it coming.
Because that guy, they put so much focus on that assassin. We're like, he's going to have to either be Cody or he's going to be Tech. Because Cody went AWOL, and then Tech was presumed dead, but we only saw his glasses. So yeah. So they left us a little window for that. But I still absolutely love the Obi-Wan show. I know it doesn't get a lot of respect, but I absolutely loved that show. I thought, as far as an actor, that scene with Obi-Wan and Vader was oh my goodness, that was powerful. Because, and like what I was telling Adam is Hayden's job, his performance in that was amazing. Because when Obi-Wan apologized to Vader, because in episode 3 just says, "I failed you," which is still a pointed comment. That's still kind of pointed. So for him to finally just apologize, and when he apologized to Anakin, you saw just tears just welling down his face, and then he just
Yeah.
got furious. And it's like this whole time he was a Jedi, he never got respected, he never got appreciated, and then the one time he gets that apology, it's too late. And you just saw how hard that hit him. I was just like that, and that hit me too. I was like, oh damn. The one time he gets that apology that he felt he was owed for so many years just came too late. I was just like, oh.
Red Hood, actually, he'd sent me a text like that morning asking if I'd seen that last episode yet. And I was like, I haven't had a chance to watch it. And he was just like, eyes, he's like, wow. And Jake, I had the complete same expression, like, especially when Vader's voice was changing back and forth between Anakin and Vader, and then the light changing. I mean, so I actually picked up this is from Hot Toys, and I literally just got this probably maybe a month or two ago, but it was based on the Vader series, because you can. But I like, man, when just seeing him disfigured and seeing him talk in that mask to Anakin, it's just incredible.
That was the voice going back and forth, and then just to see. I mean, I learned so much. I gained so much respect for Hayden as an actor, because his response to Obi-Wan's apology, that was just. I don't think people realized how deep that went. And it was just like, man, that hit me hard. I was like, dude, he got the dude killed it.
The first part that got me, now that was definitely the climax, but the first part that really set it off for me was at the very end of episode 2, when Reva is trying to find Obi-Wan. She starts talking to him, and she's like, "Oh, you didn't know that Anakin's still being alive?" And you start, and you see Obi-Wan's eyes, and you start kind of seeing a little bit of like those eyes, and then he goes to Anakin, and his eyes open, and he's in the vat.
That was sick. That was sick. And I'm not a fan of the Ahsoka show, but I do love that after he did Obi-Wan, then you have Hayden filming Spirit Vader, where he is actually he's totally resolved between both, and that fascinated me, to where he was Anakin and Vader both.
Yep.
And there was no more conflict, and just to see him resolved like that again, that was another great performance by Hayden. To be able to show you what the resolved Anakin is like, where he's embraced both sides of that. And that was really cool. I think they had to bring episode 5 in as a Hail Mary, because that show was struggling.
They started off a little
Snoresville, like seriously.
I'm right in the middle of it.
I don't like Sabine getting hit with a lightsaber, and then you get hit with a saber, you're done, and then it's like
15 minutes, she's back in. She's good.
I was like, come on, man.
I kind of feel like they kind of wasted Thrawn in that a little bit, to a point where he could have came off a little bit more sinister, maybe.
Yeah. Well, the way Mickelson does his voice, he's just so calm, and I think that's the most frightening part about the guy. It's just his demeanor, because it's just like,
and that's his real voice too.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's the one that voiced Thrawn in all the Clone Wars shows, right?
Yeah, and Rebels. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, well, it's funny, because at first when we saw him, we're like, why is Elon Musk playing Thrawn? But then I realized, like, oh wait, that's the actual voice of Thrawn. He has earned that role. If anyone has earned that role, it's that actor.
And I think that's the where I suffer with Ahsoka, because I'm so used to Ashley Epstein's voice, and she sound like there's just that poppiness to like her voice, and Rosario Dawson, it's not Ahsoka to me. It just doesn't come across as Ahsoka.
She's awesome. I don't like her version of Ahsoka. It's too stoic. She's completely deadpan. It feels like she's just script reading, like she's just reading through the lines. And I mean, I understand.
Without that picture of her that Boss Logic did, never would have gotten a live action Ahsoka in the first place.
Well, and see, my thought was, they would say, well, so much has happened to her, that's why she's now stoic. Okay, maybe so, but in episode 5, when she faced Anakin, she should have been a teenager all over again. She should have completely come unglued. And she was still just kind of stoic and just, no, it felt like a script reading. It really did.
Because in Rebels in season 2, she's older. She's like the same age, because she's with Ezra, and she's with Kanan, and that's when they're trying to escape, and she runs into Vader, and she realizes Anakin's like, I'm not going to leave you again. And I was like,
Right.
you still have that Ashley Eckstein. Like, she just sounds like Ahsoka, and not like some
Right.
older, more mature, quieter, like stoic Ahsoka. That's not
Right.
Ahsoka to me.
And had she completely come unglued when she faced Anakin, okay, then I could have bought the stoicism thing. But no, I
Yeah.
wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed.
Yeah. I thought that was a part that really just didn't do it up for the series.
Yeah, you can tell Hayden had to act down on that scene too.
You know, I saw Hayden. I think it must have been like one of the Star Wars celebrations, and it was maybe like 2 years ago. Maybe I think it was before like they released Obi-Wan, and
Yeah.
you could tell how much like the fan reception, because that was the first time he was back in a Star
Oh,
Wars
yeah.
piece, and because he was close to breaking down, like it just meant so much to him.
Is
Because
that
I mean,
the one
Right.
where the audience in the panel gave him like almost a standing ovation?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
He finally got his hero's recognition because, yeah, he was paying for George Lucas's George
full
Lucas.
writing.
Yeah, George Lucas wrote stories. He was not a script writer.
Yeah,
Yep.
I just
There's a big difference.
I feel bad for Jake Lloyd who portrayed the young
Oh yeah,
Anakin in
Mannequin.
episode
that
1.
movie kind of ruined him. Yeah.
I'm about to say, did he do anything after that? After Mannequin
No.
Skywalker? Yeah.
Nope. You know,
Yeah, he was done.
he
And
was just.
I don't know. Did Hayden Christian really do anything after the prequels?
I think he may have had.
Well,
one or
he
two
did. He
cameos.
made one called Jumper. He was in
Okay.
Jumper. He tried to do some more, but there was so much backlash from the prequels that it didn't boost his career like everyone anticipated. He was still Anakin, and he got typecast as Anakin. And the prequels weren't getting much respect, and only now, when Disney screwed it up, do we appreciate the prequel. It took Disney coming in for people to appreciate the prequels, and I'm glad to see he's now getting the recognition he deserved.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and then of course things like Clerks 2 and Family Guy poking fun of him didn't help his confidence at all either.
No, and he was just a kid, man. Just to have a young actor like that, just to get attacked the way they were. I mean, that would
Yeah,
that would
I
be
know
tough.
Kevin Smith told the story that Hayden's lawyers actually almost sent him a cease and desist for that whole little scene in Clerks.
Wow.
In the second Clerks, where they're comparing Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is funny because the reason, they're talking about Academy Awards and all that. Well, the reason Star Wars never got an Academy Award is because Lucas was blacklisted from the Guild. Now, if you know that story, but he refused to put all of the opening credits. So when he made the first Star Wars, he didn't put all the opening credits, all the production credits, the studio credits. He didn't do all that, and they all have to. That's a Guild rule.
Oh,
And he didn't do that. They fined him a lot. And then when he did Empire Strikes Back, that second fine was just enormous. So he basically waved a middle finger to the Guild. And so he pretty much left the Guild. He refused to play by their rules. And that's why he had a hard time getting actors, because when you're not a Guild director, Guild actors don't like working for you because it's a union. So he was blacklisted from the Guild because he didn't follow the Guild rules. And since he didn't follow the Guild rules, he was never nominated nor considered for an Academy Award.
I have to blame Lucas for my one of my addictions, because if it wasn't for him doing that licensing deal and Burger King putting out their first series of collector glasses, I'd be fucking collector cups to this day.
Oh man, yeah.
including the
And those don't travel well.
including Coca-Cola's new freaking version of it, the Marble cans.
Yeah, those don't travel well. I'm glad
I saw Rod
All my
Liefeld show one of those
collectibles.
Deadpool cans the other day.
Fuck those cans. It's
You know what,
it's one of the characters I don't have yet.
The collections I have are the plastic little Coke bottles from the Star Wars place at Disney, because they're so cool. They're kind of badass. They look like little grenades. So
Oh, I know
Those are the
exactly what
ones
you're
that
talking
you
about.
They're
Yeah.
so bad that
badass.
they turn into
I was
planes.
grabbing those out of the trash. Yeah, they're kind of
From
badass.
Galaxy's Edge, because they look
Yeah.
like the grenades that used in Jabba's palace, because you have the Sprite and the Coke, and I was like, man, I remember
Yep.
seeing those, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, look at that, genius.
Yeah, and they're like $5 each, but I was grabbing them
Yeah,
out of the trash.
worth it.
Man. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, absolutely worth it.
they go for good money on eBay. Those the Galaxy Edge can bottles too.
But you can
I
only get
believe
them
it.
there. So yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them go for like $15-20 on the bay.
Yeah, and I just thought they were so cool. Like, yeah, I would grab them out of the trash can. I don't care. I got a dishwasher. It's not like I'm gonna drink from it. It's like they're just so damn cool.
Yeah, I think I've got one or two back here.
Yeah.
So Nate, this is something I've always wanted to know since all our interactions on Modern Comic Mayhem, what you catch on Saturday nights over at Beyond Wednesdays. Love you, McClay. And you have a holy grail that you have not obtained yet.
Batman 1.
Nice.
That's it. That is the one that I've. It used to be when I was collecting, probably like 20 years ago. It was Detective Comics 38, and I remember telling a friend of mine, I was like, if I ever get a chance to get one and it's reasonable, I'm going to do it. And believe it or not, there was a guy named Dan Gallo who was an Overstreet price guide.
I know who he is. I know. Actually, he's actually local to my area.
Up in White Plains.
Yep. He does a lot of the local shows in the New York City, New Jersey area.
Yeah, good, really good guy. I actually bought a Hulk 1 from him a while back too, but he ended up having a Detective 38, a 2.0, and a 3.0 at the same time. And this was probably about 15 years ago. And I remember calling him, and he and I spoke about the 2 and the 3. And I was actually in Providence, Rhode Island at the time. And he was like, are you wanting the 3? I'm like, no. I was like, I want the 2. And he's like, no, you're in Providence, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, it's funny. I just talked to a guy in Providence about the 3 as well. And so I ended up buying the CGC 2.0 from him. But so at some point, I've been trying to work and see if I can get some of these major keys like that Detective, like First Appearance of Thor, AF-15, all these ones that I bought like 15, 20 years ago, and see if try and kind of push those to the middle and try and get a Batman 1. But that is the holy grail.
Nice. I actually would like to own a Super Friends animation cell as one of my holy grails.
Oh, now
would you? Super Friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. That's one cartoon I wish would come back.
As a Star Wars nerd, I want to get that big old 5-foot Millennium Falcon that was hanging from Toys R Us.
They did
those,
a Galaxy.
Those go for like $8,000.
Yeah, they did a version for the when Galaxy's Edge opened of that, and they call it the. I think it's like the big ass Millennium Falcon, what people kind of call it for short. But those things are huge.
Well, I know that the BAMF is, but so Toys R Us had a promotional Millennium Falcon they hung from the ceiling, and it was actually true 3 3/4 scale. This thing was like 6-7 feet long, and it was a good 3.5 4 feet wide. It was big. It was obviously just injected molded plastic, so they have not aged well. But it was just a store prop that hung over the Star Wars section.
That's awesome.
So it wasn't the toy; it was that prop. And like I said, just being injection molded plastic, they don't age well. So when you find them, when you find the Toys R Us Millennium Falcon, because I had the BAMF, and that one's cool, but you can get those for like $300. But that Toys R Us display is like $8,000 easy if you find it on eBay. Because one guy, it showed him driving it home, and he literally had the Millennium Falcon strapped to the roof of his car, and he drove it all the way home.
That's awesome.
And I was like, man, if you lost that thing on the highway,
pulled over by the cops with the Millennium Falcon on your hood.
I think you got to rent like a U-Haul or a truck just to make sure you get it home safely. Because if something happened,
yeah.
And on top of that, it's just hollow plastic.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the wind just folding that in half? Or no, you get a U-Haul for that. You're right. Like no, you don't just strap that to your hood.
No way.
It's just gotta be like a calling card for every cop who's on the road that day. It's like a guy with the Millennium Falcon. We're pulling his ass over.
Yeah, some guys driving with a 6-foot Millennium Falcon on the roof of his car. You're gonna have to Google that now, and you'll see it. The Millennium Falcon display, because it is massive. It is absolutely massive, and you could say it's probably true 3 3/4 scale. It's beastly. So that would be pretty cool.
Wow.
All right, guys. Nate, I want to thank you for coming on tonight.
Oh, thanks for the invitation.
I definitely want to have you back on when I don't have like 500 guests and all on the same episode.
Just when you need the B team to come in, that's what I'm like
No,
the JV spot.
no. Be honest, I don't have too many people in my friend community I get to talk G.I. Joe and Transformers with. Outside of really like you, Aaron, and McClay.
Yeah, that I'm about to say our panel on Saturday. That's we're all pretty much in that genre.
Yeah, so that's the reason. And have everyone like you're the only who's agreed to ever come on a Tuesday. So I just really want to say thank you.
Yeah, I have no life, so it makes it easy.
Like I said, you're busy with the kid and the wife and all the other cool stuff. So
yeah, it actually works out well because if I'm doing this, that means she's got to give him a bath and get him ready for bed. So I win both ways. So
there's a maniacal plot behind
that time, because I was like, like 7:30 our time. I'm like, perfect, that's his bath time, and then he's got to be in bed by 8:30. So I'm like, I'm 8 minutes from home right now.
Yeah, you're like, oops, sorry, still on the podcast.
Yep, can't help you.
But seriously, thank you for all the friendship and support.
Oh yeah, anytime.
Like I said, hopefully I'll try to pop on this Saturday on Mayhem for a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I know the next 2 weekends I can't because I got conventions with voiceover cast members who I want to try to get on the floor interviews with.
Very cool.
And I guess I'm gonna try to get interviews with all the G.I. Joe cast in a couple of weeks and send them over to McClay.
There you go.
So I want to see what it will cost me to get the voice actor as Zartan to sing one line from Cold Sliver.
Oh my God, that would be fantastic. That's what you need, like as an intro into your show.
I'm trying. He's gonna be there. I'm gonna be like, I'll pay double your autograph fee right now if you can just do like 2 lines. So we can just say this is Sauce Radio and it is controlled by Cold Sliver.
Fantastic.
Because I looked him up on Cameo and he wasn't on Cameo. I was like very disappointed. Jake, I want to thank you for coming on as well.
It was a pleasure. Appreciate you having me.
I'll have you back on when we can dive into your career and your taste in music and all that a lot more.
Too easy, brother. Thank you.
Of course, everyone, please, if you're in District 1 out in Nevada, please vote for Evan Stone. He's running for Congress. To my producer, JT Wheels, I hope you made it home safe. No harm, no foul. I know you're getting home late from work. To everyone.
I did. I was just eating. My bad. What's up, guys?
All right.
What's up,
Before we let you go, I would like to, show something, and I think you guys might get a kick out of it. Can we play Cobra Commander's Turkey Dinner?
Gotcha. Just give me 1 sec.
Yeah, sure.
I was focusing on getting the belly full.
My bad.
All right, hold up.
All right, I'm gonna see if you guys would get a kick out of this.
It's the best part about podcasts. And be like, yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah, we'll just take that in post. Yeah. Brian.
All right, there we go.
I'm breaking the cardinal rule of dead air, but.
What is this urgent matter that requires my immediate attention?
Oh, forget about that for a sec, Destro. Sit down. You've been working tirelessly all day on that weather dominator. No doubt you require a little R&R.
What I require is no further interruptions until the Weather Dominator device is complete.
Why are you so angry? Calm down.
My time is limited.
You best remember who is financing your little project, because soon my weather dominator will eradicate G.I. Joe and bring the free world to its knees.
And?
And then the world will be ruled by Cobra.
I see. And just why, Commander, do you feel that Cobra is the organization best suited to control the entire world?
What? Because Cobra must rule. Ah, Cobra is powerful. Cobra is strong. I created Cobra. I was but 4 years old when I realized that I could run the world better than the morons in charge. How dare you insult me with that question? Fuck you, Destro.
Very well then, Commander. Obviously, you're summoning me here as a childish farce, and I must now return to oversee completion of the marvelous device you have purchased. I do not wish to be disturbed any further.
Come on, Destro, don't leave. Sit back and relax and enjoy the pleasantries that Cobra can provide for you. Look at this, a fucking turkey dinner. I can't wait to eat. Destro, would you like to sit down to this wonderful turkey dinner?
No, I have work to do.
Well, then what the fuck are you going to eat?
I don't care. I can order pizza or something. It doesn't matter.
Pizza?
There is work to be done, Commander. Perhaps you can afford the time to bask in gratuitous accoutrements, but my responsibilities require uninterrupted attention.
Oh, come on. I got the big screen up and everything. Destro.
Bah,
Come on.
I don't have time for this, Commander. I'll notify you when we're ready to conduct the test.
Oh, what a fucking party pooper. You used to be fun, Destro. What the fuck's on TV? Ooh, I bet Zartan would like to hang out. Zartan. Come in, Zartan.
Yes, Commander.
Where are you right now?
We're in the middle of pulling a heist, Commander.
Oh, really? Where?
Over there, you fucking idiot. Get it open.
Zartan.
We're in the middle of a fucking bank vault in New York City.
Zartan. How soon can you get here?
Commander, this isn't the best time. This score is worth over $2 million.
I'll give you $4 million if you and your buffoons get on the Cobra private jet and come here and eat a fucking turkey dinner with me.
Sure. What time?
Right now.
Amazon stop.
Just go to the fucking airport. I'll have someone meet you there.
Okay, Commander.
Are you on your way?
Yes, Commander.
Okay, good. Bye. See you soon.
How many times did he throw
What the
that turkey
fuck?
leg?
We gotta
This
drop
is
all this
4 or
fucking
5.
loot just to go have dinner with the commander?
No, you idiot. We're going to finish the fucking heist, package the $2 million, and then go see that fucking asshole Cobra Commander and collect $4 million.
Hey, Zartan's right smart about that kind of shit, hey?
Yeah, that's why he's our leader, because he thinks better than we do.
Now stop talking, you fucking idiots, and load the shit into the truck. We have to be at the airport soon.
Let's see what's going on with my Cobras. Good work, Cobras. Soon, Cobra will rule the world. Hail, Cobra! Hail, Cobra! Get your feet off the table!
Oh, shit!
I'll dock your pay if I see you doing that again.
Sorry, Commander. Hail Cobra.
Destro! You lying, double-crossing jerkface!
No, it's not what it looks like, Commander.
You didn't have time to eat dinner with me, but you have all the time in the world to spend lip-locking with one of my employees!
I'm on my way back. She called me after I left. I swear.
Liar!
Commander, we really wish you wouldn't do that. You've already put us way over budget this month with your gratuitous expenditures. This unit will have to be replaced with a costly brand new one.
Well, if it isn't the two fucking Butt Brothers.
Don't kiss our asses or anything, Commander. We're only the ones responsible for making sure you don't go bankrupt before your little weather thingy even gets off the ground. Look, brother, a lavish turkey dinner banquet. No doubt that's way out of the budget, but since we're here...
No! That dinner is for invited guests only, and you two butt pals are not invited!
Very well, Commander. My brother and I will just have to eat at our favorite 5-star restaurant. On the Cobra expense account.
I hope you both get food poisoning. I hope Zartan gets here soon. Where the fuck is he? I am bored. Slave, amuse me.
No, please.
Shut up, Conan! You like it when I control you, don't you? Yes. Now, who will win? Conan or the Transformer? You cannot stop the Transformer. But I am Conan. No, Transformer will destroy you. Take this. I'll rip you apart. Oh, that was quite messy. Cobras, clean that up. That wasn't very amusing. Of course the Transformer won. He's a fucking robot.
Okay.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we gotta have...
Hey, I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah, I've definitely never seen that one before. That version.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
I've never seen.
That was the expendable turkey wing too. That was
Yeah.
a turkey leg.
That poor
He
turkey-
Checked it like 4 or 5 times.
I killed at least 6. The poor television set in the office too.
Yeah, I know. Temper.
And, my only thing is that they didn't have to do the dreadnoughts like that and make them that bad and fumish.
Well, I love Tamox and Zaymot, so they kind of ruined those guys on that video.
Yeah, one of the guys that they captured them perfectly.
Oh, come on now. I love those guys. They're great.
I'm talking voice wise. They really tried to match the original voices up to it.
They did pretty good with the voices.
You know,
And Cobra Commander called them butt pals.
Yeah.
well, that was always the joke, anyways. And see, JD, can you please bring up the Pimp Daddy Destro image? I want to show Nate. I want to show you this G.I. Joe variant I found today.
I know the figure. I don't know if I've seen the comic. That's the Pimp Daddy version.
Yeah. This is why this sometimes doing this podcast can get expensive when I'm doing research.
Oh. Actually, it's funny because in the new, I guess it was actually I can't remember if it's the final. I guess it would have been the final of Cobra Commander #5, and they've got Destro with obviously his mask on, but he's got him in a suit. And then on one page, you see like the liner within the suit, and it actually had like the cheetah, like the Pimp Daddy print in there.
There was a prototype of the Pimp Daddy figure that goes for mad money.
Yeah, a lot of money. And that was one of the first classified figures they put out. I want to say it was like in the 2nd or 3rd series of Pimp Daddy Destro. Yeah. I've never seen that book.
Yeah, I did not discover this until a couple weeks ago, actually, when I did another episode, and I was like, I do not remember this.
Never seen that one.
Yeah. I was thinking of maybe doing an exclusive down the road for Destro with Pimp Daddy on it.
Probably be a winner. Might need a Pimp Daddy with like Baroness dressed kind of to match.
That is true. Like I said, the Baroness was awesome.
Well, Transformer 1, that summed up my childhood.
Yep. Hey, JD, can you please bring up the Star Wars comic? This is another one I thought that was kind of cool. That needs more love. Yeah, some of the Tales of the Star Wars series, some of their photo covers. I forgot they even did this one. You know, I think this is perfect for signature series. You know, Hey, Nate, what do you think about getting comics autographed by celebrities?
What's that?
What do you think about getting comic books autographed by celebrities at the moment?
I don't do it. Just they're a lot more. They're way more
They're
than I would like to
expensive,
pay.
yeah.
Way more. I do kind of. I usually have an eBay search. I check like once a week on like CGC signed, and some of the Marvel ones I've found that are slab that are pretty good grades for like Chris Hemsworth and Scarlett Johansson and Jeremy Renner are cheaper than I would expected, but the Star Wars ones are just nuts, man. Like they're just way too much. And if I want one, I want something that I can actually read their signature, not just a whole bunch of just poor penmanship. I love this book. I think it's just a beautiful cover.
Oh yeah.
Always have.
Like I said, I may actually splurge, especially with all the health issues, all the health bullshit I got into in the last 2 years. Is just spend the money and get it signed by Hayden.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I heard that Hayden was a really cool dude in real life.
That would be cool.
At Fan Expos.
Yeah, he would be really cool. It's one of those things too. Is it one of those that you send in the CGC or you actually get a chance to meet him? Because if I was going to spend it, I'd want to be able to meet him at a convention.
That's the whole thing. That's why
I
was holding off from one of the Fan Expos where he's going to be at.
Yeah.
Just the thing of meeting him and shaking his hand and getting to talk with him.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's the right way to approach it.
Like I said, I'm starting to see a lot more companies pop up with, just these private celebrity, signings, and it's just like, Did I bite the bullet on some of these, or just hold a hold? 9 times out of 10, I'm just like, I hold off because I see the price. I'm like, fuck that. If I'm going to pay that, I want to meet them.
Yeah, I'm with you because that was the only thing I thought about going to Comicpalooza about was that this year they had the guys from Back to the Future, and I thought Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd that would be a pretty cool. But it just both of them, and then depending on which one gets signed, whether it's like a hoverboard.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox, it's not the cheapest signing in the world either.
Yeah, no, yeah, his signature was really, really expensive. So I like Back to the Future, but I'm not in love with it.
Foundation, but it still adds up.
Yeah, I could pay for Hayden Christensen, or I could pony up for that faster than I could like Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd.
Exactly. I think Hayden was only like one. He was like 150, I think.
Oh wow, yeah.
That's still compared to some of the other.
That's
guys
on the low end, yeah.
I saw that like Mark Hamill, for example, now pushed his signature up to like almost $500.
It's crazy. Him and Harrison Ford, like all those guys, they're just nuts. How much it is?
Wasn't like I think Harrison Ford was like 1,700.
They're crazy, and the thing is, again, you can't even like really make out with their signature. It's just not clean. I hate that. It's bad enough for me, like the sports cards, when you get like autographed cards, and hardly any of them have any penmanship whatsoever. You can't really decipher exactly what it is. It's just loops and it just crap. I hate it.
Like I said, I got my Mark Hamill done a long time ago when he was only $100.
Only, I love that.
Yeah, like I said, And at that, I thought it was it was like 25 more than I really wanted to pay. But I was like, you know what? It's Mark Hamill. When am I going to have that chance again?
Yeah, that's a kind of a
And it
one
was
time
right around
thing.
that time when he was retiring from everything too.
Yeah, I've got Anthony Daniels up here, the 3PO, and his penmanship is beautiful. Like it's really, really nice. His script.
I've never. One of these days, I'll see when he's a convention that he's at. I'm just gonna have to go and finally do it. Once again, Nate, thank you so much for being a guest.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
Thank you for everything. Jake, thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
JB, as always, I thank you for all you do for Awesome Sauce Radio. And to everyone out there, remember, you don't need sight to have a vision. I love you all. Why not? I'm out.